pride ourselves on the high moral standards of our program.
And now,
I mean that sincerely.
Broadcasting live from Seattle.
We don't resort to sex or crime or violence or drinking.
Quiet! I can't hear myself lie!
It's the Dan Rosenberg Show.
Yes, hello. I'm using pods and I'm at home today. Does it sound okay? Let me know. Welcome to the show. It is Rothulus once more. He's a busy guy. He's got so many. I can't wait till next week. We are going to be with him next week. He's been working on some serious projects. And then the following week, I won't be here on the 18th. I'll be in California. So working on my serious project. So why am I looking up here? The camera's there. So this week will be this show. Next week will be Clutch Radio. And then maybe Thanksgiving weekend. I think Rafi will be live in town. I don't know if we'll do a show that weekend or not. We might. It was so much easier when we were all stuck in our house and we couldn't go anywhere. It was so much easier. Good morning, everybody. Good morning from Jacob Angel. Hello, how are you? Jake, do you know what this hat is, by the way? I forgot to ask you the other day. Can anybody identify this hat? Adam, good morning to you as well. And everyone else that's out there, I say good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is fun doing these little I keep looking here because I'm used to the camera being above me, not on my screen. I look forward to doing these Saturday morning shows where I do absolutely no prep for. Not completely true. I do a little bit of prep because I do know that today is National Donut Day. Jake, I don't know if you knew it was National Donut Day. I don't know if you're making donuts today at Jake's Pickup on Bainbridge Island. Oh, let me scoot up a little. But today's National Donut Day, and I will try to have a donut today somewhere. Peter's on. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I remember having you on the show back in the old days when we played games and whatnot. So yes, it is all improv. Yes, and I keep looking up here again. The camera's here. Yes, and I'll be doing improv today. I'm actually going to go see some improv tonight. If you're local to Bainbridge Island, The Edge, the comedy improv, they are hysterical, and they're the first Saturday of every month. I'm going to go see them. And The Edge from U2. Hello, Kelly. And The Edge from U2 is not the same Edge, different Edge. But my TV co-star, Chris Soldevilla, is in that show. And we may show the trailer tonight if that's possible. But the trailer is looking good. We're shooting our last day of shooting on the sitcom. We shot 6 days or 5 days. How many days? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 days. So this will be our 7th day in California. And we'll be done. And then we're going to do a screening, not a premiere, just a screening to see, what audiences think of it. And we'll be doing that on Bainbridge Island on Wednesday, December 14th at 9 p.m. It is an evening, but that's when sitcoms used to be on, like Wednesdays, 8 to 10, Thursdays, 8 to 10. Remember Must See TV on Thursdays? And it's at the movie theater. So we really didn't have a lot of choices. We can't bump the new Avatar movie that's going to be out. So that happened. So we'll be doing that. We'll be talking about that. The sitcom has been a ton of fun to do, and we'll see what happens after we're done with the pilot. What else? Oh, funny story. I want to talk about customer service today. Enough about Donut Day. I'll get a donut later. And also, by the way, we do viewer's choice. This weird background thing is weird. But Jake, I'm still asking, can you identify the hat? I went to a charity auction not too long ago, and one of the items they had in the silent auction was an Amazon package where you got a 50-inch TV and an Echo Dot. Now, I've got so many Echo Dots I don't even use. Who needs another Echo Dot? But It came with it, so why not? Kind of rhymed. So I got the Echo Dot, and I mean the 50-inch TV, and in my office, uh, where I normally do the show from, I thought, I can't mount it to the wall because I'd have to pay to get the wall fixed later. So I bought this stand. It's a really cool stand on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, 20 or 30, but it was not expensive. I was surprised it held the TV. I built the whole stand over a couple of days because I just took my time. And I go to open the TV and put it on the stand, and the whole screen is shattered. Just shattered. Not Shatnered. Shattered. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? So I called and I noticed on the side there was a sticker from Best Buy. So the charity had ordered it from Best Buy. So I called Best Buy, and you can't get a human being on the phone. And I kept bouncing around. Somebody finally answered. They weren't at the local store. They were in some national call center. I told them the story. They said, "Hey, okay, take it back to the store. If you're just going to exchange, yeah, simple exchange, no problem." All right. So, long story short, too late, I know. I finally, last Saturday after we did this show, I went to Silverdale, Washington, where our local Best Buy is, and uh, I returned it. I walked in the door, and the guy at the front couldn't have been nicer. And they're all wearing costumes because it was Halloween weekend. So some cowboy greeted me at the door, and I'm like, "Howdy, partner." And I said, "Hey, I bought this TV through a charity, and it showed up. I just opened it, and the screen shattered. I just want to get another one. Don't want my money back, right?" "Oh, no problem, no problem." So he goes, "Wheel it down to this guy," and this guy's wearing a pineapple costume. He's dressed as a pineapple and looks kind of like SpongeBob's pineapple. So I'm thinking, like, he's probably wearing SpongeBob underwear because SpongeBob would live inside the pineapple, and it's under his sea. So I go up to the guy, super nice. "Yeah, yeah, go, put it here. Go pick out another one. We're here for you." I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so easy." Well, I couldn't find the same TV. They didn't have it in stock, so I found a similar one, had the same features, same size. I'm like, okay, 4K, 50-inch. They're like $239, by the way. I overpaid at the auction. Nonetheless, I wheel it up. I'm standing there, and the guy, the pineapple, who has a very short-term memory, it's literally been 10 minutes at most. He's like, "So, can I help you with something? Is anybody helping you?" I go, "Yeah, you're helping me." He goes, "I am?" I'm like, "Yeah, remember the TV?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, yeah, right." So he looks up the code, and I had the receipt from the charity. They sent me the receipt from when they bought it. He goes, "Sorry, dude, it's over 30 days. Nothing I can do here." I'm like, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Nah, nothing I can do. Sorry, it's been over 30 days." And I told him the whole story. I said, "Well, but I just got the TV like a week ago. I mean, the charity bought it for this auction. I bought it early. They bought it on sale. They bought it in August. It was 60 days. Sorry, nothing I can do." So now I'm arguing with a pineapple. And I said, can I talk to your boss?" "I am the boss." "Oh, you're Mr. Buy, Mr. Best Buy?" I said, you're the manager of the store?" "Well, this department." I look at his name tag. I won't say his name. Kind of a weird name. But his name tag just said associate. I mean, he's not even a bachelor. He's only an associate. So I said, "Can I talk to your boss then? Because you obviously have a boss here." He walks away. They just start killing time. I know he's over there just like we used to do in the car business. Just ignore it, let the customer know. Let me go talk to my manager, and then you go ask what the score is of the game. Anyway, so the manager comes back, and I'm not sure if he's in costume or not. He's just wearing like a reflective vest. He looked like he was like a crossing guard, but then I realized he's probably just wearing it because he goes out in the parking lot and stuff. Super nice guy. Tell him the story. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, we'll do that for you." Well, yeah, it's not your fault. Yeah, I mean, it's a write off. We have to write that screen off now. I'm like, what do you freaking do? I mean, you're Best Buy. So then he goes to do the refund. And he's like, "Oh, hold on." He's already logged in. So the pineapple has to come back. And I'm going to deal with the pineapple again. And he's pissed. He's like, he's like typing as he does my refund or my exchange. And it ends up I have to pay an extra $10 difference. And I realized after reading the receipt, the TV I picked was $10 cheaper. So they actually owed me 10, but the free Amazon Echo that came with it during the special back then was no longer a deal. So they charged me for it. I mean, who cares? But still. Pineapple means he's a swinger. Oh, really? Ray would know. Ray, good to have you here on a non-car day. Although I do want to share your van, Ray. I might have somebody who wants to buy your van if you can convert it into a really nice RV. Although I told him how much you paid for it, so probably now you can't make any money. Jacob thinks this is the Mighty Ducks. Whoops, I disappeared. Can anybody name what this hat is? First off, it's not JVC. My son was like, is it JVC? No. Here's a clue. That little symbol right there is a little bit of a clue. So it's Guess Your Hat Day. Other days today, by the way, it's not only a National Donut Day, it's National Bison Day. So if you get like a nice bison burger with a donut as the bun, and then you eat it outside because it's also National Play Outside Day. And on top of it, it's also National Love Your Red Hair Day. What if you don't have red hair? Swingers van. Oh. No, Ray and I were watching an auction. Ray's a car dealer friend of mine. And sometimes at the auctions, things go through and like nobody bids. And you're like, oh, I'll hit the button and bid. And Ray bid on this and nobody else was bidding. And we're like, okay, so you're the high bidder. There's nobody paying attention. Whoever's selling it's not going to approve the sale. And they approved it. And he bought it. And it's a really cool, I think it's an 07. It's like a Payless car rental shuttle bus, basically. Although it's got a lot of the handicap, like the big ramp in the back, and it's really nice. And it's a diesel, so it lasts forever. The thing is super clean, and I'm not sure what Ray's going to do with it. I think I do have a picture of it actually. Why do I not have? Oh, there they are. I think I have a picture. I'll pull a picture up here in a second. Yeah, it's actually surprisingly nice. Yeah, here we go. I mean, wait till you see this thing. And Ray, I'd like to know what you're planning to do with it. No, look at that thing. It's lift equipped. I mean, it looks like, I mean, I don't see like old lettering on the side, although they do a pretty good job of removing the lettering. I mean, you really could turn this into a party bus, but the price you pay for, basically, I'll just say this. If you had to replace the tires on this, and maybe the wheels, I think it's a dually. Is it a dually, Ray? Meaning it's got 4 wheels back here. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. How much can it tow? Jake might be interested in it. That might be a great thing for Jake to use to tow. It is a dually. It's the Ford 7.3 diesel. It's got 125,000 miles on it. That's nothing for a diesel. Ray, I might have a buyer for you. Ray said he'll send me a picture of one. 50,000 more miles, but 5 years newer. They are spendy. Great for a toy hauler, camper. Uh-oh, here we go. Ray, I'm going to make a deal with you right here. This is Clutch Radio 2.0. We'll see if we can make a deal here for Ray. Because I know he's put some money into it already. Because needed a couple of batteries. He got a nice detail inside and out. A car deal, yes. No wonder I got into comedy. I've been around cars my whole life. My dad owned an auto parts store. His dad, before I was born, owned a junkyard and a used car lot. So, and the sitcom is called It's a Lot, and it's about a guy, me, who works at a car dealership and has a a really uh, he's got a famous dad played by Rick Springfield. Look at this thing. Oh, here's somebody bought some of the other ones, it looks like. Look at this. So where is that? Window, window, window. Look at this. It's the same one. It's a newer version. It's a Chevy version. 18.9 they're asking for theirs. 171,000 miles. It looks like the same exact company. And this person looks like they have two. It could be a food truck conversion, a tiny house conversion, a shuttle. They have two available. Make a good deal on Bothell. I think they mean both, but they said on Bothell. 18.9 each. Come see it for sale. Interesting. Yeah, Ray, you're gonna do well. Somebody's gonna do well. I mean, if you sold this to Jake, he could turn it into his camper for going to the races, or he could actually put a little food truck in it. He could do both. You can put a portable kitchen in it. He's got a whole concept for a show, which is a fantastic idea to have a restaurant trademark. And he goes to the races and he cooks food and he races. Interesting, interesting. I think we may put the deal together here. That could be awesome. What else do you guys want to talk about? We talk about customer service. Now, Adam brought up Xfinity has some pretty bad customer service. I deal with the week. They're awful. You know what? It really depends. Uh, it depends on who you get and how you get them. If the thing with Xfinity that is good is when you only need the online stuff, and they have a really good online way to get a lot done. You can remotely like reset your modem, and they can do diagnostics without ever talking to a human. That works pretty good. Once you get the human involved, yeah, it can be a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Uh, it's also I'm trying to think of what company's popping in my head. Oh, Feral Gas. We use them for propane. Their service is great when you talk to them, and they have a really good online portal, but they have this weird thing that you have to guess how much propane you need. Then they print out a bill, and then you've got to pay it, but they don't recognize the charge until like 48 hours later. And then at 24 hours, they're like, hey, sorry, we have to cancel your order. You didn't pay yet. But they don't instantly apply the charge to your account. It's really weird, their whole system, because they want to do a thing where they check your credit, and then I'm like, just put a credit card on file. Just bill me. Like, I don't understand why this is so hard. But they were the only ones delivering for a while locally. Might have to switch companies again. We have big propane tanks here. We got a big 500-gallon propane tank out in the backyard there, hooked up to the generator in case we need it. Yes. They do outsource their call centers. It's hard to find people willing to do that kind of work for the kind of money they want to pay. That easily should be a $20 an hour job, and they're probably paying somebody overseas $2 an hour, which, converting the dollar, it's not a livable wage, but it's a half decent. It's money. I told the story before where I had a guy from India for Sirius XM when I was switching cars, and I wanted to convert my account from an old car to a new car, and I'm going through my account number, and he repeats it, and he's like, I won't do the accent because not allowed to anymore. But he's like, A as in Apple. I'm like, yes. H, yes, as in Hitler. I'm like, yeah. Wait, what? He actually said H as in Hitler. I'm like, dude, hotel, Hitler. And then he said J, and I said, just stop. You've got the number. Just stop. And then I had a friend who the other day told me a story that he was getting his windshield repaired by a certain company, and I'll call them out. I don't care. It was Safelite. Guy came to his house, and he had a ding in his windshield, and he goes, "I'm going to sell this anyway. Just fix the ding." He goes, "Well, you're still going to see the spot." He goes, "Well, I mean, then just give me a whole new windshield," because insurance was paying for it. He's like, "Yeah, you want to put a new windshield in because if not," and this is what the guy said, if somebody comes to buy it, they'll just try to Jew you down. And my friend, who's not Jewish, although his last name could be, he just told the guy, "Out, leave. No, I'm done. I'm done with Safelite." And he said, "I'm going somewhere else." So there is a ton of anti-Semitism still out there. You sons of bitches. Anyway, we're not going political. We're not going religious. But Gino, how about the Seahawks? 5-3 at the break at their bye week. I think it's their bye week. 5-3. Either way, it's almost half point. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Look how good they're doing, and look how bad Russell Wilson's doing. We still haven't figured out what the hat is. Maybe it was a compliment. The H is in Hitler or the Jew in down? I have a friend who's a comedian friend who's Jewish, and somebody said that to him. He goes, "Oh, they're just going to Jew you down." He goes, "I'm Jewish, right?" And he tried to explain to him what it meant. Well, what that means is they're going to negotiate a better price. I don't know. It does happen. Everybody negotiates a better price. Like, I don't know why. There's 8 million of us in all of the United States. That's a tiny percentage. Why are we the ones that are the only ones that negotiate? I've sold cars. I've sold anything I've ever sold. People always try to negotiate a better price. No one's ever like, "Well, I'm a Christian, so I'm paying retail. Plus, I'll give you a couple $100 extra." Doesn't happen. Anyway, we don't need to go there. Sports talk. Lakers and Warriors both sucking right now. That's exciting. I do. Well, do I have any more customer service issues to talk about? I'm bouncing all over the place today. The best customer service, hands down, is Nordstrom. Nordstrom, and there's no S in Nordstrom, by the way. If you want to hear material about that, you can check out my comedy special, Dan Rosenberg Overexposed, available on Amazon and YouTube. I talk about Nordstrom with no S, and how people never take the S away. Like somebody doesn't say, "Oh, I'm going over to getting a drink at Starbucks. I'm going to get a pizza from Domino." But people add S's, Nordstrom's, Pennies, and for people to say Walmart's. Cell phone coverage on BI, T-Mobile. Well, I've got Verizon on my personal phone. It's 1023. And on my work phone, I just got T-Mobile because I just wanted something different. I also got a Samsung. I just wanted my work phone to be different. I hate my Samsung phone, and T-Mobile does have better coverage in the south part of the island. My car has T-Mobile too, so I guess I probably should have got AT&T. But I can't talk in my car. It just has cell service for like the streaming stuff that's in it. But I wish somebody would come out with a phone, and Google did sort of, that it just jumps on the strongest signal it can find. Like, they pay a licensing fee to everybody because they all use the same technology now. It's not like when AT&T used something totally different than everyone else. So it finds the strongest signal no matter where you are, and that's where the call is. And Google had with their Google Fi or Google Fi. Is it Fi or Fi? It's probably Fi, like Wi-Fi. Yeah. So they had one, and they're like, "Oh, it picks up really, really solid, coverage, and it picks up the strongest signal wherever you are." And then it picks up T-Mobile, Boost, and Sprint. Well, Sprint is now part of T-Mobile, and Boost is now part. They're always been part of T-Mobile. So it's T-Mobile, but they're like acting, "Oh, it's all this stuff from the Sprint network too." So you invent a phone that gets every network, I'd pay a little extra for that. And in finance news, Yes, Carvana dropped 50% yesterday, $8 a share. Now, obviously, Carvana. So Carvana was started uh, as like an online way to buy cars. They're trying to revolutionize the way you buy cars. And the problem was they got huge during the pandemic, as did a lot of online stores, because people were stuck at home and they couldn't go to a dealership and they had extra money because they weren't going out to dinner, they weren't going on vacation. I mean, there was a lot of extra money sitting around during that time, and people were buying cars. And Carvana needed cars more than anything, so they were, Ray, you remember this? They were paying stupid money at the auction, so nobody could buy the other cars at the auction that were half decent, and they were buying cars from the public. Neil Lieberman, holy moly! Yes, you can get the hat and the glasses. Can you identify the hat, Neil? Yes, you can get them on my merch page. Yeah, look, it's not attached to the nose or the eyebrows. Good to see you, Neil. Very exciting. So see, Saturday morning you do a show where you just talk about anything. You never know who's going to pop in. The M is not for Mama. Good try. So far we've had Mighty Ducks and Mama. I will give a clue. It has to do with cars. It's not JVC. My son thought it was JVC. I'll mention that again. Anyway, so Carvana went up like crazy. They were $365 in the last year per share. Now they're $8. And they were financing anybody. It is Meshuggah. It is the official Meshuggah hat. You can buy the hat, and it's not Meshuggah. Jake got it. It's McLaren F1. A friend of mine was at an event, and they got a whole bunch of McLaren stuff, and he gave me this hat. And we handed it to me. I'm like, what is this, like a screwed up Michigan hat? They got the color wrong. But it is McLaren. Back to Carvana. I can bounce all over the place. So everyone was buying the cars online, and everyone was selling their cars because you couldn't trade a car in any dealership, because you go on Carvana's site, they'll give you way more money. I had a car, 2017, or was it an 18? Anyway, it was an 18. It was a Kia Soul electric. I bought it for $14,500, and a year later, Carvana offered me $14,500. So I had it for free for an entire year. They met me at the Walmart parking lot with their little flatbed with a big Carvana logo on it, handed me a check, took my car, bing, bang, boom, done. Super simple. And all the other services were offering me 11 or 12. So they were overpaying for cars. And by the way, I kept watching the auctions, and I kept watching Carvana's website for that car. It was about 6 months until it finally showed up on their site. And I checked the Carfax, and I think they sold it 8 months later. So I don't know if they were holding cars because the value was going up, but they were making bank for a long time. And now, if you look at Carvana, if you look at Vroom, if you look at Shift, those are the three big online ones. I mean, Vroom was doing Super Bowl ads, and Vroom, I think, is under $1 or close to $1. Shift is under $1, and Carvana has dropped that much. And Sonic Automotive, who owns a bunch of physical dealerships, they had one of the biggest quarters ever. So it was great. He sold 16 cars to CarMax when they were overpaying. Ray actually, I think, had a situation where he bought a car at CarMax and sold it to CarMax and then bought it back at the auction. No? Something like that. Or maybe you bought one of your cars that you sold to them at the auction because it was thousands cheaper. I don't know. Anyway, somehow we're a half hour into the show. And next week, Rafi promises he will make his triumphant return. I'm not sure if he'll be local or if he'll be remote in California, but either way, we will do a Clutch Radio next week. Adam, I think earlier said we should do a 2-hour Clutch Radio. Let's see if I can find that comment. I remember him saying something. There we go. I agree. We might have to, it might be more than an hour. I don't think it'll be 2 hours, but we might do a longer a longer episode. And when Rafi's here in person, we may do a driving one, and I've got a new way to do the driving ones. I've got microphones that we'll each wear, so you won't get the background noise that we normally get. So that'll be kind of cool. Or conversely, another way to do the show is, well, that's good for pre-record, is you put a microphone in the car, and then we each wear these, so we can hear each other, but it's actually recording with an individual microphone in each car. But then we can't really talk. We can't take comments when we drive. That's the only thing that kind of stinks about the driving shows. And the Fiero that I bought is not running yet. Needs a belt. Funny, I had a really funny like a noise with the belt, and I was like, oh, well, hopefully that worked itself out as it warms up. And lo and behold, I was driving it to the local Cars and Coffee, and the sound went away. I'm like, oh, there, it did it. But then all of a sudden, the battery light came on, and it started overheating. The belt snapped and just came off. And that's a good way to make your belts quiet, is have them come off. But considering it's the alternator and water pump belt, not good. And yes, we'll do a live on location. That'll happen. You know, Clutch Radio might change from weekly to monthly. That might be what ends up happening. Although once Rafi's back on the island, he's a lot more available. I hope he's back. I don't know if he's going to be back for the 12th or the 14th for the screen. He's also in the sitcom, and he plays a character that is hysterical. He's probably the Kramer of the show. I mean, he's that funny. Who knew? Who knew he could act so well? But he plays his character so well. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see it. Yeah, but we'll be doing that screening again on December 14th here on Bainbridge Island, 9 p.m. at the Bainbridge Cinemas in the pavilion, not outside the pavilion. And then maybe we'll be moving around the country doing it. I might go to Pittsburgh and do one. Yeah, that's true. I'd have to do this. Well, yeah, that might be what happens. I'll do this, and then Rafi will do one clutch a month. But we'll do it more of a podcast too. I stopped sending the audio to the podcast feed for a while, like a long time. But the new year we might do some different things. We're also talking about for the Aradan Film Festival. It's gonna be season 5. Eric wants to do some upgrades and some different things too. By the way, the film festival on Monday, 2 movies, V for Vendetta and A Knight's Tale. I've yet to watch either of them. But I have a big TV in my office now. So maybe while I'm at work on Monday, I'll have them playing in the background. All right. Well, again, we don't have to do a whole hour. Oh, my signal's getting weak. Why would that be getting weak again? That makes no sense. Anyway, I'm getting a weak signal notification. So somehow something's wrong with my internet all of a sudden. So if I'm jittery, you know why. I didn't do celebrity birthdays. I usually do that on this show. Celebrity birthdays. All right, let's see whose birthdays are today. Kris Jenner is 67 years old today. Odell Beckham Jr. is 30. How come? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. How come football players when their name is like junior or the third or senior? I've even seen some senior on the back of their jersey, like they would put Beckham Jr. or Smith the third. Their last name is Smith or Beckham or whatever their last name is. Why do they need to put the junior or the senior? That only goes with their first name. Everybody with the last name Smith is Smith. Like if I named my son Dan Rosenberg Jr. and he played football, 2 things would never happen. His jersey would not say Rosenberg Jr. No one thinks it's me out there, and no one knows who I am. His name's Rosenberg. His name isn't Rosenberg Jr. His name might be Dan Rosenberg Jr. But so if anybody has an answer to that, I would love to know. Other famous birthdays. Wow. There's so many people I have no idea who they are. YouTube star, Instagram star, TikTok star, YouTube star, dancer, model. And Kevin Jonas, okay? He's one of the Jonas brothers. So I've heard of the Jonas brothers. He's 34. Just says guitarist for him. Oh, you want to talk about crime, do you? His truck was stolen from Affordable Auto. Police found a week later trashed, even found the driver's license of the thief while cleaning the driver's seat. Police won't do anything, so there's no use calling them. 5 stolen cars in 5 months. Well, at least it's consistent, Ray. 1 a month. That way you know. Okay, well, this is different. Dale Earnhardt. Okay, you corrected yourself. They might have run at the same time, but they didn't have. I'm talking about like jerseys. Oh yeah, it just thinks Dave Earnhardt. Uh, I'm talking about the football like jerseys and stuff. I mean, obviously, yeah. If you have Dale and Dale Jr. both racing together, they also have different numbers. I just don't know why the football players have the third and you know what I'm talking about. Oh, good evening from Ireland. So you're getting a fence to keep the cars in. That's good. Uh, I do wonder, the cops don't care as much because what are they going to do? We've had people when I worked, I work at an online car company as a day job, and we've had people scam us for cars. And you call the police, like, whatever. They've got bigger fish to fry, unless it becomes a ring. When it becomes when it's multiple people and they're doing. We had somebody get 4 or 5 cars from us, 4 or 5 cars from Carvana, 4 or 5 cars from shit. Like they were going after all of the online car companies doing similar scams. And they'd steal somebody's ID and then they'd go buy a bunch of cars on the same day from multiple companies. But yeah, good to get a fence. Keep your customers out. Welcome, Dan. He says people are having issue with rats and mites in their cars. He said squirrels get into parked cars, walnuts everywhere. Yeah, it's nutty. I watch a guy called Vice Grip Garage on YouTube, and he's got a show called what's it called? Restoration Rescue. I think it's called Restoration Rescue on Motor Trend, the TV station, or the TV network. And every time he opens a glove box in some of these cars, because they're sitting out in the field for 30 years, he opens up the glove box and it's a house. I mean, it's got everything in there, and the rats love to live in there. And especially when they do, like Subaru does this whole thing where the car is like 99% recyclable, basically, and zero carbon. And so they use a lot of soy in the wiring instead of plastic and in the seats, and they just come in and eat it. And some people say put fabric softener sheets in your engine bay if your car is going to be sitting for a while. Normally it's just when they sit around for a while, but they can also just get in your garage. And we've had that happen where, you get a little mouse in the garage and they get up into the engine and nibble on a wire here or there. Excuse me. Yes. Norm Iron 1 does say it is the day Doc Brown invented time travel. November 5th, 1955. He was standing on the toilet hanging a clock. Porcelain was wet and he slipped. He hit his head. He had a vision. I had a really good flux capacitor in the car, my DeLorean that I sold. And when I sold the car, the guy he said he was a Giugiaro collector, the guy that designed the DeLorean, who also did a bunch of Lotus, and he did the original Volkswagen Scirocco. He did a Porsche. He's done a lot of amazing cars that he's designed. And this guy was a collector of his cars, and he wanted a DeLorean, and he had very specific wants. It had to be the original with the flap on the hood for the gas, and it had to be a stick shift, had to be black interior. and had to have under 10,000 miles. Mine had 8. So everything fit. So he collected it, and I was like, well, I'm going to take the flux capacitor with me because I got a really good copy of one. He's like, no, I'd like to keep it. I'm like, I thought you weren't into Back to the Future. So that was our final negotiating thing. And I was like, you know what? I paid like $500 for it, and I bumped the price a little bit more. And I'm like, I'll just buy another one. And I never bought another one. But yes, it is the day that time travel was invented, November 5th. And I actually think today's the day I got my car, now that I think about it, because I've checked the old paperwork. I think that the car was being worked on still, but I said, when you do the paperwork, can you date it November 5th? I think it was 2010 when I got the car. So yes, it was fun. I would love to get another one. I really would. They're so expensive now. I should have never sold mine. And well, it was weird because like after Back to the Future Day happened, you know, in 2015, because that's now 7 years in the past, I kind of lost interest a little bit. And I was like, okay, I can get rid of the car now. It was like I did a bunch of like they did some movie screenings. I got a movie poster, which actually used to be my background. Let me switch back to that background. Where does that go? Here it is. It's not letting me switch backgrounds. Oh well. I don't know if you can see me or not. It shows and this isn't even the car talk show, Keith. This is just uh, the non-car show. Roth will be back next week for the regular one. But I don't know if you can see me or not. But there's the poster I got from the local theater, and I don't see myself in the screen right now. But if you see me, just put in the comments, yes, I see you, I hear you, and if not, let me know. I don't know why it does that when I try to change the background. It makes no sense. Okay, you can see me? Perfect. I can't see myself now. Uh, yeah, so that's the well, this is from a movie about the DeLorean, and that's signed by Bob Gale, the writer of the movie of Back to the Future. And then this one, oh, my finger disappeared. I don't have my green screen here, so it's not as good as usual. And so this one here is the one from when they released the movie uh, back in 2015 on Back to the Future Day. And I had my car there, and it was a ton of fun. And I just kind of lost interest, and somebody offered me a lot more money than I paid. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. So Ray has a very colorful comment. Home sellers will have much more success attempting to pick up a toothpick with their ass than trying to sell their home right now. That's true. Rates are going crazy. Oh, here's Ray. See, Ray's got real estate and cars we can talk about with Ray. Look at D.R. Horton and Lennar, biggest home builders in America. They're buying rates down to 5.5. Everyone who bought 6 months to 2 years ago is now upside down 25%. They're trying to fire sale these off. Well, that's good for brokers who need to sell houses. Yeah, I'm losing my right ear. Yeah, our interest rates are going up too. See, everybody thinks it's I don't want to go politics, but everybody thinks it's a Joe Biden thing. It's all over the world. It's not just here. But let me see if I can fix this. Virtual background. Ooh, well, that doesn't look good. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't let me adjust. I can see myself now. It doesn't let me adjust. Yeah, the ear goes away. Although that's okay. Maybe I'll do sideways. But yeah, 10/21/15. That was what I was trying to talk about now that I can see it. Mm. Uh, I can hear fine. And Keith is totally right too. Everything is cyclical. Just relax. If you're not planning to move, like people talk about, oh, the stock market dropped. The stock market, are you selling all your stocks right now? If you're not selling all your stocks right now, then don't worry about it. I'm going to try to change my background. Oh, there it worked. There you go. Good point. Politics in Northern Ireland. What could go wrong? That's not something I know enough about to talk about. Cash is not trash. Just opened a 7-month CD yesterday at over 4%. Wow, 4%. So you can make money by putting stuff. I have Dogecoin still. I bought it when my son said to buy it. It was very popular for a while. My son was like, he's like, it's a tenth of a penny. They're saying it's going to hit a penny. You should buy some. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And finally, I bought some at 4 cents, and then it went up to I think it went to 35 cents or 40 cents. Like, wow, took the money we put in out and just riding on house money. And now it was hovering at 7 cents forever. And then the whole Twitter takeover by Elon. Don't even get me started. No, I've never seen somebody that can be good cop, bad cop at the same time. Like Elon Musk is good and evil simultaneously. Might be more evil, but still. Price of Corvettes go up and down. Classic cars. That's what Rafi always says. Classic cars never go to zero. So, and they always go up in the long run. Always. So, and you can enjoy them and have fun with them. So classic cars are still a good investment. And if the prices do start falling, like a DeLorean, I might grab one now. Ray's mortgage is 3%, and he's getting more on CDs. That's true. Mine's 2.65. So I would get more money on it if I put my money into a CD, put the mortgage payment in there for a year. At the end of the year, I'm not sure how that math works. Found a great financial. He sells and holds when the market drops. It's brilliant. You sell and you hold. All right, I just had a brain aneurysm or something. Sell and how can you sell and then hold? Okay. I just love, like Carvana, we were talking about that earlier. It's like, they were losing like $3,000 on every transaction. And everybody's like, well, how do they cash reserve? Gotcha. Holds the cash. Took me a second. And Carvana was doing the old joke. It's like, oh, we lose $1,000 a car, but we make it up in volume because they were doing so many cars. So it was like, look, we're doing 11,000 cars this month. That's fantastic. But they lost $500 million in the third quarter. $500 million. Like, how do you? But it makes no sense. So, in closing, remember today's National Donut Day. Go get a donut. It's also National Bison Day and National Go Hang Out Outdoors Day. It looks like we're going to have, looking out my window, the sky's blue and the sun's out. So go outside, eat a donut. And if you have red hair, celebrate that as well. Those are your days. The only celebrity birthday really is Kris Jenner, who's a celebrity for being married to Robert Kardashian, who was a celebrity because he helped OJ get off, for lack of a better word. And OJ, I mean, if you think about that, Robert Kardashian and Johnny Cochran both died, and they weren't that old. So karma, maybe. Ginger bison. If you can find a red-headed bison, that's the meat you want to eat. Put it inside a donut and eat it outside, and you've got everything. I hope that's a donut, Keith. That's a donut. And Best Buy customer service sucks, especially if you're arguing with a pineapple. It was. You have to go back and watch earlier in the show if you didn't hear that story. It's no wonder Best Buys are closing. And they have a price match. Like if you go in there and you find something on Amazon, you go, look, here it is on Amazon, they'll match the price. But what they do is they do the old mattress trick. This is another thing that pisses me off. Like there's certain things that should be federally regulated. Here's two of them. One, mattress companies. Half of them have to be money laundering operations. But there was one in LA, I think they're still there, called Sit and Sleep. And it's like, if you find a lower advertised price, your mattress is free. They will beat or match any price, or your mattress is free. I'm like, well, why would you ever? It says you beat or match, so or your mattress is free. So if they beat it by, maybe it's just beat. We'll beat any advertised price, your mattress is free. So if I go in and the mattress at the competitor is $400, I don't know what mattresses cost anymore, and all they have to do is say, okay, we'll give it to you for $399. Why would they give it to me for free when they just have to beat it? You beat it by a penny, $399.99. Hey, we beat it. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? We can't beat it, so we're going to give you a $400 mattress for free. It's one of the best marketing ploys because everybody believes it and they go there thinking I'm gonna shop and I'm gonna get a free mattress. And I walked in one time and I never bought a mattress. I said, have you ever given away a free mattress? And like, no, of course not. Why would we? And then what happens is all of their stock numbers, all the model numbers, you can't find anywhere else. They're big enough that the mattress companies, who all begin with S for some reason, Sealy, Serta, Stearns and Foster, uh, coughing, they'll get customized numbers. So they'll get, oh, this is the Serta X43. Well, you go to any other store, you can't find an X43. They might have a J42, they might have a B52, but they don't have one that matches. So you can't match price because it has to be the same make and model. You can't find them. So that's kind of a scam. And there's so many advertising laws that car dealers have to follow that a lot of other companies don't. And that's one right there. Second is airline ticket pricing. And I get it that it's fluid and it's supply and demand. But, and I've done this, if you go and shop for a flight and then you go back to the site like 2 days later, the prices are always higher. But if you go in incognito mode where you're blocking cookies and they can't tell that it's you that were there 2 days ago, the price is the same as it was 2 days ago. And if you try to buy a ticket while you're at an airport, especially when there's flights being canceled for weather, they will adjust the prices accordingly, knowing where you are. So they regulate the insurance companies because insurance, if I go get a rate quote today from Geico and I get a rate quote from State Farm, like they don't negotiate their rate. Their rates have to be registered with the state insurance commissioner in most states. I don't know every law, but it is insane that an airline can do that just on a whim. And there's another thing that airlines do that a lot of people don't know is if the price goes down, if you do find that the price went down, like you bought a $400 ticket and all of a sudden you see it's $350, you can call and get that $50 back. Most of them will do that. So, but you have to sit and watch them all the time. Who wants to do that? I just found out I'm flying to Atlanta for a work thing next week on Tuesday. What's Tuesday? It's election day. And I'm flying into Georgia, probably other than Pennsylvania, probably the hottest, most talked about election. Capitalism is a cruel mistress. I like capitalism. I completely agree. But I do just think that flights are something that sometimes you need and you don't have a choice. And I know there's that Seinfeld episode about the bereavement fare and you've got to show a death certificate. I get people are going to scam it if you don't. But maybe once a year you're allowed, everybody gets a free pass. You can claim it's an emergency once a year and they have a special rate for you to get you on a plane. Even if you have the middle seat in the back by the crapper, it still gets you on the flight. I don't know. So what does Adam have to say about big box stores? Outside of Walmart and Target, going away with the next Best Buy, Bed Bath Beyond stores that are dying a slow death. That's true. And the stores that killed the mom and pops are being killed by the online stores. And I've been, what town was I just in? And there was a Walmart that went out of business. It's all boarded up. And it was a super center. It wasn't like an old Walmart, because sometimes you see like the old Walmart moves, a couple blocks down, becomes a super center. This was an actual super center, and it was boarded up and closed. And then I just like did a quick search. The closest one was like 9 miles away, which is kind of far. FedEx, if you don't get your delivery by a certain time, you can claim it and get it for free, but they don't tell you that. Oh, interesting. Keith got the Delta Amex card. I have the Alaska, and I just got, and this was crazy because I didn't realize that you could get miles, non-flying miles, apply towards their status to be an MVP. And out of the blue the other day, I got noticed that I was upgraded to MVP, and I knew I had 818 miles left to fly. But apparently I had a hotel stay that I used their service for. I did it through the app, through the Alaska app, and I ended up getting my 1,000 miles, and now I'm an MVP until the end of next year. That's exciting, right? I don't know what that means exactly, but that's what I got. Yeah, some of those cards are really good. I don't fly Delta enough, but the great thing was with Alaska, if you buy food on the flight with your card, you get, I think, 5 times the points. And if you buy your tickets with the card, you get 5 times the points. And for this flight I'm doing down to California for the sitcom thing, I had to fly 2 other people, and I put them all on that card and got 5 times the points of the cost of the flight. So I mean, that's a lot of points. Like I have at least one free first class flight whenever I want to take it. Well, they do charge $11.20. I guess they have to charge something. It's like 100,000 miles plus $11.20, and you get a free first class trip. So that's exciting. My dog is yawning. It's almost 11. I think that means it's time for the show to end. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast. That's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We have the Eridan Film Festival, which we're watching V for Vendetta. We don't watch them. We watch them beforehand. But then we talk about them. V for Vendetta, it's a double feature night. V for Vendetta and A Knight's Tale are the movies we'll be discussing. And then next Saturday, this time, Rafi will be back. We'll be doing Clutch Radio. We'll be talking cars, buying, selling, trading, classic cars, whatever. If it has to do with cars, we will talk about it. And that is what's coming up here on the Facebook /YouTube /Twitter /Twitch. If you could do me a favor, the comments have been awesome. Please, it's okay you didn't get it sooner. It's late there. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe on whatever thing you can subscribe on, YouTube. If you hit the like button, hit the love button, and we'll see you next week. And the more people that like it, like just click like. The more people that like it, the more people see it. I guess that's how that works. But I don't have a closing, so like I always do each week, I'll play the opening. So this is the opening that we're going to close with. Eventually we'll get a closing for this show too. You too. Thank you, Keith, and thank you, Norn Iron One. I was saying Norm. I'm sorry. It's very small on my screen. You take it easy as well. We will see you next time.
We pride ourselves on the high moral standards of our program.
And now,
I mean that sincerely.
broadcasting live from Seattle.
We don't resort to sex or crime or violence or drinking.
Quiet! I can't hear myself lie!
It's the Dan Rosenberg Show.